Hey, what's going on, ladies and gents? How are you people doing here? Back again with some more football content here on the channel and all that good stuff. Doing a recap of the Bayern and the Barcelona game from yesterday, and Barca once again are facing themselves, or they are going to be competing for the Europa League instead of the Champions League. So it seemed like this football season is just getting crazier and crazier. And look, man, I didn't expect Barcelona to make the, I thought they were going to finish second behind Bayern, but it's just Barcelona. They're looking like a club that is still, not capable of basically being in competition with the other good teams, because the way how I see with Barcelona, the biggest issue they still are facing right now is mainly the back four. I mean, if you think about it, against Bayern yesterday, because Bayern, a great win for Bayern yesterday. I mean, they, once again, let's be honest here, Bayern, at this point, I think it's safe to say that Bayern, they own Barcelona. They just do, and yesterday have proved it, but, it made me realize here that did Lewandowski really make the right choice of leaving Bayern for Barcelona? Because one thing I'm still trying to figure out here is I don't get why Lewandowski would leave, Bayern, a Champions League contender that is, in obviously much clearer and better shape than Barcelona are. So I don't get why Lewandowski left Bayern for Barcelona, because obviously it does suck to see Lewandowski playing in the Europa League, because obviously, it seemed like that this is going to be the first time ever in football history where I witnessed Lewandowski compete for a Europa League instead of a Champions League title. And this is the sad part with Barcelona's decline, as Barca, they have really fallen off hard, and it just seems like things are not getting much easier at Barcelona, and it could be because of just Xavi's, reliance on playing a high line when he doesn't have the players to do it. Because if there's one thing that I've noticed about Xavi's tactics with Barcelona is that he always wants to play a high line instead of, playing it with players that can actually fit a system. Because with the players Barcelona have, I don't think those players necessarily fit a Xavi system. And, I just feel like that yesterday, Barcelona's high line, it clearly backfired. I mean, the way how this game went down, Barca, they were lucky not to get battered 5-0, because that's just how piss poor Barcelona performed yesterday against Bayern Munich. And now that Barca is playing in the Europa League, man, I think this is sad for football, because, as much as happy I am with Bayern's victory yesterday, it sucks to see Barcelona fall into the Europa League. But, I mean, if you think about it, Barcelona, their era of dominance is long gone already. This isn't the Barcelona team from 10 years ago. And in fact, Barcelona, I can't tell which football club had a more sadder decline, Manchester United or Barcelona. And in Barcelona's case, for example, I guess it's just the fact that they just don't have the players that can, perform or play that high line, much like how Xavi is so dependent on that. He doesn't have the players to do it. And when he doesn't have the players to play that big, massive high line, then I really don't understand what results Barcelona are expecting, because obviously Barca, they clearly are a mess on defense right now. And unless they get that defense fixed, then they're not going to be sniffing a Champions League trophy anytime soon. So, yeah, I guess you could say that yesterday, reality just once again hit Barcelona super hard, where once again, they find themselves in the Europa League. And, I mean, it's sad, man. It is sad, but hey, I mean, this is football, because Inter Milan, they were in this situation too before, and now I guess, Inter Milan, speaking of them, they performed much better than Barca have in this group, and they're looking like a team that's very rejuvenated and a team that can maybe be a sleeper team for the Champions League, much like how Napoli are, for example, and all that stuff. But, I mean, really, with Barcelona's performance right now, it makes you realize that which players do Barca needs to go after in order to, once again, be an actual good team? Even with Messi coming back to Barcelona, I still think Barca will need more than just maybe hoping by some miracle that Messi can come back to the club or whatever, because clearly right now, with Barcelona's case, it just makes you realize here that this is the new reality at Barcelona, is that Barca, they're still going to be rebuilding for quite a bit longer than what people expect. Because let's be honest, Barca, they still are in rebuilding mode. And unless they get their defense, first of all, fixed and get players that can lead their defense, then Barca, they're not going to go anywhere anytime soon. And, I feel like that the biggest issue right now with Barca is that they can't move on from players that were once in their prime, because they're too dependent, I feel like, on older players that, were once part of their Champions League teams, like PK, for example. I don't understand why Barcelona are still trying to hold on to PK instead of selling him, because obviously I feel like that at this point, Barca, they clearly need to move on from PK, and just their reliance on just relying on old talents to win them games is just what's holding him back, I feel like. So yeah, that's the way how I see with the current state that Barcelona are in right now. So yeah, and this is why I wish Lewandowski personally would have stayed at Bayern instead of joining Barcelona, because Lewandowski joining Bayern from Barcelona, I think, has just proven my point why it's a big downgrade, and why Lewandowski, I feel like, why I think he should have stayed at Bayern. I still don't get why he wanted to leave Bayern for Barca, but hey, that's just me. See ya.